Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Infinite Crypto Cruisers. Hey there, folks. My name is Brad Varnell, and this is the Infinite Crypto YouTube channel. Welcome to another segment of our token teasers. Today, I'm so excited to introduce to you a gaming project that we believe has massive potential, and we're lucky enough to have the head of development, head of business development here on the show with us, Adam Myers from the PLYR Gaming Network. Welcome to the show, Adam. How you doing today?
Hey, I'm great. Thanks for having me, Brad. Appreciate you reaching out. I'm excited to do this. This is something that I love to do. Most of the time I'm in meetings with projects. I don't often get to talk about how great the network is. So this is great. Looking forward to this.
Awesome, man. We really appreciate you taking some time. We know how busy it is to run a project like this, and with all of the things that you've got that you're trying to put in place, as we're all hoping that Bitcoin runs up over the next handful of months. I know that you're extremely busy, so we very much appreciate your time and really excited to share this project with our community. We were talking a little bit off stream, and I mentioned to you that I know that gaming is here to stay, and that projects like yours, in my opinion, have the ability to be around for decades and really just have massive growth as time goes on. So with that, maybe just tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got involved in the crypto space, and how this PLYR Gaming Network came to fruition.
Yeah, thanks for that. I'm Adam. I've been part of PLYR for about the last 6 months as the head of business development. They brought me on. Actually, I was part of the community of PLYR before that, when they started in 2021. And I just kind of helped out any way I could, just active in their Telegram, helped out making some intro videos and kind of doing some other things. And they saw the value of me, and then they brought me on as part of the team. It was great for me because I've always wanted to kind of be in crypto full time as a profession, and I've always kind of been doing it part time for previous projects. I was part of ambassador groups, part of different outreach, and this was kind of my time to be able to do it full time, and it's amazing. Crypto, just as an industry, provides so much opportunity for people, and content creators like yourself kind of give that opportunity to other people, and I think that's amazing. But backing up a little bit more, I joined into the crypto industry back in 2017, and I had heard about it from a work coworker, and they said, "Hey, have you heard about this wild internet money?" And this was because it was 2017. It was peak bull market. Everybody's hearing about it, at least in certain circles. And I jumped on. I didn't get it near where I could have gotten it at, but I did buy some Ethereum around $200 and watched it grow, and then watched it tank. And then I watched it grow some more. And that was kind of my intro to crypto. I loved it. I loved the volatility. I loved how crazy it was. It kind of drew me to the space. So since then, it's kind of always just been a hobby, and I helped out a little bit in my part-time, but now being able to do this, I come from traditional business background. I've run businesses before, multi-million-dollar businesses. I've managed like 60 plus employees. And so I know the business side of things, and that's all kind of just second nature to me. But being able to work for a gaming infrastructure token, it's pretty amazing. I've been a gamer my whole life, and I even played Zuno. That's one of the games we actually made back growing up with my brothers, and it's pretty wild to be able to play it now and to be able to say, yeah, I work for the company that made that. It's pretty cool. But yeah, I get to test games for my job. I get to talk with other gaming projects and other gaming partners and do stuff like this. And so I honestly, I can say I have the best job I've ever had in my entire career. So awesome. I couldn't be happier. I get to spend time with my family, get to see them throughout the day, and it's pretty amazing. Crypto is pretty amazing. So excited for this discussion, and looking forward to it.
Awesome, man. I love it. Thank you for sharing a little bit about your background with us. One of the things that we talked about off camera that I thought was really insightful, and I really liked the way that you put it, was you guys did this, little bit backwards compared to the crypto world. Like we, as a little bit older, a little more seasoned in life, we're kind of used to, building something and then taking it to market, where so much of the crypto world, it's just an idea. And then, as you mentioned, they want to raise, millions of dollars and then hope that they can maybe make their idea work. And you guys took a little bit of a different approach, which I really enjoyed. And from what you were telling me, you mentioned it briefly, you guys have been around since 2021, building the infrastructure, building the network, and your token just went live to the public very recently. So you spent several years on product before you ever worried about the token. Is that correct?
Yeah. For me, coming from a traditional business background, like that's what you do, right? You build a product and then you release it, or you at least build a minimum viable product and then you get fundraising for it. Typically what I've been seeing in crypto now is you do the fundraising based off an idea. And I mean, that still happens in traditional business, but for the most part, you need to show something. You need to show the data. You need to show, hey, I've got X amount of users already. And it's pretty wild to me that some of these projects don't have to do that. And these venture capitalists are loving it. And so that's something that kind of sets us apart, is we do not have venture capitalist backing. We've been bootstrapped since the beginning. So we've been very lean. We've got a very select group of high quality individuals that have been doing this for many, many years. And everybody is kind of pulling their weight and doing what they can to make this project what we all believe it can be. The token price, I'm not a financial advisor by any means, but it's reflective of where we are at currently. And it's exciting to me because I know it has the potential to grow. And I know that what we are building far surpasses what some of our competitors are building. And it's just a matter of getting the stuff out there. We just released our first game this past weekend. And I'm a firm believer that now that we've built the product and the product is out, people can see what it is that we do. And we're more than just a game development company. We're actually the infrastructure layer for crypto gaming. So the way that we kind of see PLYR is PLYR allows game developers to connect their game to crypto. And our ideal customer is the game developer. What we envision is we will have games just releasing on PLYR using our infrastructure to connect them to crypto. So our belief is that we've kind of figured out the tech confusing parts of the tokens and the NFTs and how to connect it to blockchain. We figured out the confusing stuff, so that way the game developer can just create their great game. They connect to our infrastructure through an API. They add that into their code. There's a few more steps that they have to go through, but we really see that as something that we enable game developers to benefit from it. And because we're an infrastructure play, and because we're in this such a niche market, we get to talk to game developers all the time. And game developers, frankly, they don't know about crypto gaming. So we are incredibly early. I talk with these projects and with these indie game devs, and they're like, what, crypto, what? Yeah, I've heard of Bitcoin, but like, how is it related to gaming? So it is incredible how early we really are. And you kind of talked about at the beginning how some of these game companies can be around for many, many years. And we've already been around for 3 years, and we have a lot more to build. And we see that as we're going to be around for a really long time. So we're definitely playing the long game. But for now, we just want to show people, hey, our infrastructure works. The game is fun. I'm sure we'll kind of go into it a little bit later, but yeah, thanks for that.
Yeah, absolutely. And so we were also talking about, your relationship with Avalanche, and one of the reasons that you kind of decided to, partner up with them in a sense. And I would love for you to just talk a little bit more about that, because, we've been buying Avalanche for, 4 or 5 years now. And I know that a huge portion of my community really has invested heavily in Avalanche. So they'll get some enjoyment out of you talking a little bit about why you chose to work with Avalanche versus some of the other chains that you had the opportunity to work with.
Yeah, so crypto gaming is pretty interesting. There's a lot of different chains that are touting crypto gaming, and what the chains really provide is the network and infrastructure to enable the games to operate. And there's a lot of different factors that go into it in choosing what network you as a game company want to build on. And frankly, some of them just do a lot of the same stuff, super quick transactions, cheap, really easy to integrate. All of that is kind of like a minimum requirement. It's kind of like when you're when you go to buy a vehicle, there's a lot of different dealerships out there. Yeah, how do you choose which dealership to go to? Well, the first thing you're probably going to do is go to like the reviews of the dealership and what do other people say about it? How is the customer service of that dealership? And for us, that is Avalanche. They were 5 stars from the get-go. Avalanche didn't care about our market cap. They didn't care about what we've already built. They just said, what are you guys trying to build? And can we facilitate your vision and make it something great? And Avalanche has been super helpful. They don't treat us, we have a pretty small market cap, quite frankly. We've got a long way to go. But Avalanche didn't care. They didn't say like, oh, we're only going to work with projects that are bigger, projects that have VCs. They just said, we like you guys. We want to help you out. We want to do anything that we can. And I can't advertise Avalanche enough. They are just super helpful. And you can see the success of building on Avalanche. I don't know if some of your users have heard about the game Off the Grid, but Off the Grid released, it's kind of like a beta release, and they are built on Avalanche. And their game has took off. Like, they did so well. And the best part is you had traditional gamers playing Off the Grid and they didn't even know about Avalanche. All they saw was, hey, this is a great game, I want to play it. It's like the battle royale style, first person shooter. It's kind of like a meld of different games, but it's kind of interesting because they have like bionic arms and your legs can actually get shot off, but you could still fire. There's a lot. I think the game's been in development for like 5 years. And so a lot of great success with that. And what that's going to do is a game like that will start to open the eyes of gamers, kind of off the stream. We were talking about how like your son is playing some video games and there's a chance in the future that people are playing video games and they don't even know that crypto is behind it. Like, I won't have to go into a meeting with a game dev and say, hey, we're crypto, this is how great crypto is. It'll just be like, hey, we are an option for you to build on as a game developer. And we've built all of this infrastructure for you to make things super easy. And it's an exciting time we're in, and we are definitely super early, and there's a lot more to grow.
Yeah, absolutely. I love it. Let's take this opportunity to kind of change gears a little bit and pop over to the website. So here we have the PLYR.network is the URL for your website. So PLYR, PLYR.network. This will be in the link, in the description too, for people to pop up. But this is your website, and I just want to give you guys, some kudos. We're gonna come back to the new game here shortly, folks. And we really, if you're one of my community members, we would love for you to test out this game, play this game, and check it out. But one of the things that I really liked about your website, Adam, was just the professionalism of it, and just sharp, man. Everything jumps out at you, and you really have the ability to learn about this project. We're big on responsibility here on the Infinite Crypto YouTube channel. We want you to take responsibility for your own investments. And I just always like it when a website gives you the opportunity to really take a look at every single facet that you would need to look into to really make an intelligent decision for yourself and decide if this is something that you would like to be able, to invest in yourself. So, that's kind of a quick, scroll down through the, the website. Also here on the bottom of the website, we recommend you go join their Telegram group. They've got a Discord, they've got a Twitter, they've got YouTube channel, but really the Telegram group is where you're going to get probably the best information, and where you really ought to, go check out the Telegram group and become a part of their community. You can also see here kind of across the top of the page, folks, where you can, look at the staking, you can look at the airdrops, the developers, you can look at the white paper and really see everything that you want to see. Having said that, Adam, this is the new game that you just released, right? It's called Zuni?
A Zuno. The O looks a little fat.
Zuno, but yeah, excuse me, Zuno, okay.
It's kind of like Uno. But we added a little bit of a elemental aspect of things, and you are able to play the game through a web browser. So you don't actually have to download the game. It actually will work on your phone. It'll work on your desktop. It's pretty cool. The only thing you have to do is make a player ID, which is something that we are really proud of. It's a universal ID login. And what some projects will have you do is you actually have to log into your wallet every single time. Oh yeah. And so we actually have a
wait for me to get rid of the music, or do I do X out?
You just have to go to a different website. But yeah, you can you would log in there.
It looks like there's no way to get rid of it. Okay.
But yeah,
I just go back to the main website, but you folks. What's that?
Oh, sorry. I thought you were going to say something. But yeah, we actually added like a October spooky theme. So there's actually some pumpkins in the background when you play the game. But yeah, you would just go to the website. You would create a player ID, and our player ID is pretty unique. Some projects that are building right now, you actually have to log into your wallet every single time you want to play the game. And unfortunately, that's kind of not the most ideal situation, because one, it's kind of like a security risk. You don't want to log into your wallet every single time you play a game. When you do make the player ID, you do have to log into your wallet initially. But after that, you are able to create a username, a very unique username. It can just be some characters. Mine's super simple. It's like 6 characters. And then you will use a 2-factor authentication to log in. So you're able to log in and start playing super quickly. You kind of have the peace of mind that you're not logging into like a scam website if one of those exists for it. But yeah, Zuno's fun. It's kind of the culmination of the last years of building since 2021. We designed Zuno on a previous network. We actually were on a previous network before that wasn't really known as a gaming network. So we kind of jumped over to Avalanche as a layer 1. And part of what makes our network so great, we actually have, there's an option there on the top, the clusters. When you have your own network, you actually have to have your own nodes running the network. And being able to purchase those clusters actually allows you to earn and validate the network yourself. So we have a limited supply. Some projects have like an unlimited supply. We don't believe in that. But you can see 9,600 clusters. And it looks like that's not loading properly. We have sold more than 0. So I'm not sure what.
Okay.
But
Let me
yeah, the
refresh and
clusters is an option.
see.
Let me see. That's interesting.
Right.
I'm not sure what that's.
There we go.
Yeah, there it is. It just took a minute. But yeah, the clusters are pretty unique. And of course, this is not financial advice, but we have an interesting process coded into the clusters. Is every time a certain amount are sold, the price will increase automatically. So some projects, when they sell their nodes, it's like a set price for everything. But we wanted to incentivize people to kind of get in early and watch the price increase over time. So it increases by about $10 after a certain number are sold, and that will continue through the life of the clusters. So even when we sell all 9,600 clusters, we're going to actually have a secondary market where you could continue to sell them, and the price will continue to increase. So I think when it started out, it was around $100 to buy one cluster, and so now it's already increased more than double.
Okay.
And you can actually purchase it with a bunch of different networks. But that's one option. Most gamers in the space, they don't care about nodes and clusters and all of that. They just care about the sweet game. So if any of your users are listening, we just ask, like, hey, come help us test the network more. Come jump on, play the game. We did a soft launch this weekend, and we've made a few updates to it. But we're excited to kind of roll this out, and this is actually the first game of 6 that we've actually developed. The games are already developed. We just wanted to have a new network to roll them all out on, and those games will be kind of rolling out later on in the year, and then throughout the following year as well. We just want to make sure that the network is up and operational, and playing that game will help you. And it's actually free to play. There is a wagering option if you wanted to, but most of the time you just play. It's you and 3 other people. I usually try and play a couple games every day, and it just reminds me of how much I love this project and being in this crypto space.
I love it, man. I'll definitely go check it out. And I'm glad that we had a chance to highlight the nodes, because one of the things that, we're always talking about here on the channel is that capital gains are fantastic, but, having something that's creating income for you, passively, something where you own a node and it's spitting off these tokens, that can be very, very valuable, especially in some of the months where maybe crypto is a little bit stagnant and it's not doing great things and your portfolio is not, going up in leaps and bounds. Having some of these nodes, can really help level out your cash flow and that type of thing. So I'm huge on nodes. I didn't even realize that you had a node. So I'm glad that we brought that to people's attention. And, $240 is a very reasonable price to take a closer look at these. You also mentioned, your NFTs are kind of special, that they're a lot more usable and a lot more utility with your NFTs than a lot of projects out there. Did you want to talk a little bit about the NFTs?
Yeah, thanks for bringing that up. Yeah, we've got 10,000 zoo genes that we launched. We actually launched it back near the beginning of the project, around 2021 timeframe, and they actually sold out almost immediately. All 10,000 of them. It was like in a series of different purchases, but it was pretty wild. Like you were getting one at random. It made it really fun. You didn't know what you were getting. I think at the time it was like $80 worth of crypto. And now if you go and you buy it, some of them are selling for like $300. Some of them are selling for like $1,000. It's pretty wild. But those NFTs are on a previous network. We are in the process of bringing them to be purchased with our PLYR token on an NFT network right now. You can still purchase them right now. It's just on a previous network, so it's not too big of an issue. But the biggest thing to highlight with those NFTs is, they are more than just an NFT, like a 2D image. Like, our Zoogenes are actually usable in game as a character. So for Zuno, it's actually not using any of the NFTs. It doesn't really affect the game much right now. But for another game that we've developed, it's called Zoo Racers. It's actually your driver is your Zoogene, and your Zoogene will give you just a slight bump in certain attributes. It makes you turn a little bit better. But one thing that's really difficult with having attributes with NFTs, some people will say, like, oh, you just buy a really expensive one and then you win every game. And it's like, no, that's actually not the case with our game. It's really unique. You could be playing with the normal free Zoogene that everybody gets a free one when you play the game. You don't get it. You can use it as your character. But you will play, and you can play the game with the free Zoogene and actually win the game, beating out people who have a really souped up character, because it's all about the skill within the game. You don't win based off of how many kills you get. You win based off of your skill in collecting the coins on the map. And if you're very strategic with it, you can actually beat out some of these top players, because they're more focused on shooting them up and blowing people up. But it makes it fun. So yeah, our NFTs are something special about our project. I mean, we don't have a ton of trading volume like some of these other projects. It's pretty wild to see some of these trading volumes, but we've got about $420,000 worth of trading volume on these NFTs. So it's definitely something to look at if you do end up playing some of our future games. We have also talked about developing a lending feature, so you can actually have the Zoogene and then lend it out to other people to use, and then you earn kind of like passive income off of that Zoogene. You kind of earn some of the rewards that they earn. So it's pretty cool. Different things with our NFTs, but yeah, it's definitely something that we're proud of. And another kind of final point on the Zoogenes and our NFTs is, because we are an infrastructure play, we are appealing to game developers, and something in game development that takes a lot of time is actually the character development. Being able to have like a movable character in the game takes a considerable amount of time to develop. So what we've done is we've kind of told our game developers, like, hey, you don't have to worry about that. You can actually use our NFTs in your game and be able to kind of just step past that point in development. So that's an option for them, or they can bring NFTs from another platform. We don't care. We've got some pretty amazing tech that we can actually incorporate other NFTs on different networks. Also, if the game developer decides that they want a token from a different network to be their in-game token, they can do that as well. Or they can use our in-game token. So PLYR is actually the transacting. Whenever you send a transaction, the network fees is paid in PLYR. And then we have an in-game rewards token called Gamer, GAMR. You can kind of see it behind me, wherever that is. And that is going to be when you actually play like a game of Zuno, that token will be what you actually earn as your in-game rewards. That currently is not trading on an exchange. It will be. It'll be most likely on the same exchange that you can buy PLYR, but we wanted to make sure we got the game rolling out first before we listed that for sale. But yeah, that's our NFTs are pretty cool. I'm happy about
awesome. Cool. So I know that we wanted to talk about the token rewards because you were mentioning to me that they're a little bit, unique, that you've got some really cool things with your token rewards. Is that kind of what you just touched on with the GAMR token, the gamer token?
Yeah. So our gamer token, what most projects do, they will have in their token allocation, they will say, hey, X amount of tokens are going to go to in-game rewards via airdrop, or play to earn. The only issue with that is over time, you know, it's great in the short term. They dish out a bunch of tokens. The gamers are happy. But what happens is those tokens just get depleted over time. And there's not really a metric to refill the pool, more or less, of what you're pulling from. And so what we've done is we've created a process where whenever there's transactions occurring on the network, some of those transactions are actually getting fed back into the rewards pool. So over time, the pool either stays the same or it actually could grow with the more use of the network. And that way, our network and our rewards are never depleted to the point where we have to go on an exchange and buy them back and then dish them out like that. They're just always there. So from a gamer's standpoint, they can know that they can just keep playing and those rewards will just keep coming, just depending on the game that they're playing and how much rewards we're allocating for that. But yeah, we're really, really happy with GameStake and how it operates. It's kind of like just one kind of continuous circle where the funds just kind of keep rotating around. But yeah, thank you for that.
Yeah, awesome. So I got a quick question. We hadn't really, talked about it, but it came to my mind, and I'm just curious your thoughts on this. So one of the things that I really love about gaming, platforms, especially where the player can earn some tokens, is, here in America, first world country, maybe earning a few of these gamer tokens is kind of cool, but it doesn't really necessarily change anybody's life. But a lot of these gaming platforms, and I'm wondering if yours is similar, if you take somebody that's maybe living in an area of the world that maybe isn't as wealthy, and these folks are, potentially, living off of a few dollars a day, I really like the fact that platforms like yours, if I'm understanding things correctly, the ability for these people that live in some of these countries that maybe aren't as wealthy to go and play your game and earn some of these tokens could, theoretically could be life-changing, correct? Especially as this token matures and the company matures and becomes worth, hopefully, a higher and higher valuation. Is that fair to say that if somebody plays and builds up these tokens, and especially if they're living in, an area of the world that maybe isn't, as wealthy, that this could be kind of life-changing for them potentially?
Yeah, definitely.
Or am I way off base there?
No, you're right. That's kind of our ideal user, is somebody that's going to continue to come back and play and play and play. The US is definitely a market for gamers, but like you said, they're not really. The vast majority of gamers are not really hurting for some cash, and if they are, it's not as bad as some other places in the world. And actually, the player gaming blockchain is based out of Asia, in Thailand, actually. And Asia and Latin America and different parts of the world, their users are going to be the ones that keep coming back and playing every single day. And that is a big target market for us, because it definitely is. It is life-changing. We've worked with some content creators that have talked to us about some of their Latin America people that they live around, and it is life-changing. Like, you make $5 a day, $10 a day playing some of our games. I'm not saying that's what you'll make, but just using that as an example, it might not be a big thing for people in the U.S. Or in parts of Europe, but it is life-changing in other parts of the world. It's definitely an aspect. I don't think we want to be the reason why people are playing our games. Is to build wealth or to kind of pay the bills. I think that would be a byproduct of us that we would be happy about. We just want to be able to provide a place for great games to be developed, and if it ends up being life-changing money for people, and that's great, but the biggest focus for us is providing a place for game developers to make their games, and we just want to create really fun games. And hopefully your users can go test out Zuno and kind of see for themselves. And it's got some fun aspects to it.
Awesome. Well, it sounds like you guys are really doing that. I know we got to wrap this up, but I wanted really quickly before we get all the way off the air here. This is a cryptocurrency YouTube channel. A lot of my community is looking for, tokens to potentially invest some of their hard-earned funds in. And so I wanted to run over to CoinGecko. And folks, as usual, this is not financial advice, folks. I am not a financial advisor. None of my views are necessarily Adam's views either. So I want you to know that this is just what I'm looking at. It's not endorsed or anything that Adam is saying. And always be responsible. Never invest money that you can't afford to lose. But folks, part of the reason that we're bringing this to you now is, as Adam did mention earlier, the market cap of this token compared to the cryptocurrency space in general, could be considered a little bit on the low side here. You can see it's got a market cap of a little bit under $1.7 million. Even its fully diluted valuation is only $14 million. And something else that we're really excited about here at Infinite Crypto is this token just launched to the public not that long ago. So as we mentioned earlier, they've been building for several years, but they just launched the token to the public. And you can see here that it's, hung out pretty close to, the price that it launched at here. You can see its all-time high was, 21 cents, or excuse me, 2.165 cents on October 5th. Its all-time low was, 0.183. So there's not been a ton of up or down in this token. But one of the reasons that we really like this project is it's also available on a great exchange. You can go buy this token on MEXC Global, which we know is pretty easy for most of us to use. And then you are able to self-custody this token. You are able to then add the chain to your MetaMask wallet and send the tokens off of MEXC Global and keep them privately in your own wallet. So that's just a little blip on where they're at. And it's not unusual. I know that once again, Adam can't, talk about this too much, folks, but we've seen other gaming projects, like Axie Infinity and some of these other gaming projects in the 2021 bull run that have done absolutely, I think I was doing a video on another token a while ago where Axie Infinity did like 1,136%. A $100 bill in Axie Infinity would have turned into over $136,000. Once again, not financial advice. Neither one of us are saying that that's going to happen here, but I just want to highly recommend that you do your own due diligence. Take a serious look at this project, because to me, it feels like it's got a lot of value. They're doing everything right. They've got an incredible team. And once again, I'm super impressed by the fact, Adam, that you guys put all of these years of work in on the front end, and now you're just finally launching the token. And, that's my 2 cents on where this thing might go. And hopefully some of my community members will agree with me and come grab a bag.
Yeah, we're definitely here for the long term. I mean, the timing is pretty wild. We definitely did not time like where we're at with the market. Like we're right at the beginning stages of like a massive bull run, right? With looking at the historical trends of Bitcoin, we just need to break out past where we're at right now as a crypto market to really be off into the races. And I think everybody's just been kind of waiting. Like Bitcoin itself, I mean, you look at our token, it's kind of been a stable coin more or less, which is good because the actual market has been trending pretty volatile over the last few months, and our token has just kind of stayed where it's at. So even though it isn't like taking off to the races, it's at least not dumping. And part of that is because we don't have venture capitalists. There's nobody that has like a huge bag of ours that are kind of outside of our control. I mean, sure, somebody could go buy some right now. But it's, we're definitely here for the long term. We've been building for the last 3 years. The timing just kind of works out right now. We didn't plan it, but regardless of what happens over the next 12 months, we're going to be here for another 3 years. We're going to be here for another 3 years after that, because we're very lean. We know how to manage our funds. We put money exactly where we need to put it. And we've got a lot more to grow as a project. So I'm excited to be here kind of from the beginning, and I'm excited to see where it's going to go as well.
I agree, man. Thank you once again for spending some time with us. And once again, folks, if you've been watching this video all the way to the end, please go down into the description and go to, the website, play the game, connect with these guys, join their Telegram group, maybe go take a look and follow them on Twitter. And unless you have anything else to add, if I missed anything that's important for us to go over, I think I'll let you go and enjoy the rest of your day and get back to whatever is important to you.
Yeah, I definitely give the Twitter a follow, but join in on the Telegram. I'm in a lot of different Telegram groups, and it's really fun to see our community that have been with us for the last 3 years basically acting as moderators for like other people joining, and they're answering questions that normally the team would be answering. So we've got a really unique community, and we'd love to have some more people in it. So like, just join the Telegram, jump in on when we're playing some games. We have some game nights that we'll be scheduling here over the next 3 to 4 weeks. And those game nights, we're actually going to be, I'll drop a little bit of alpha on this, but we're actually going to be having some airdrop tokens allocated to those game nights. So pretty much you join the game, play the game night, and then your wallet will be associated with an airdrop. So regardless of, you still need to play the games and play a handful of them. But it allows you to kind of access the airdrop. And one final thing note about our airdrop: those tokens aren't just like sent to your wallet address. We were thinking like, okay, how do you prevent airdrop token hunters from just like going in and just doing the bare minimum, get the tokens, and then dump it? We said, hey, okay, we're a gaming infrastructure platform. What if we made a game that you had to play to access your airdrop? And what we did is we did that. So if you actually go on, you don't have to do it right now, but when you're looking at the website, you can actually go play the game right now. You won't get an airdrop because your wallet's not associated with it, but you can play the game. Some people are finding the treasure. That's what you're jumping around from cloud to cloud. They're finding the treasure within like 10 seconds. And some people, I don't know why, but it's taken them like 45 minutes to find it. Usually you're looking at 1 to 2 minutes of jumping around. But what we've done is we've kind of gamified the airdrop process to prohibit people from just trying to farm the airdrop. But it's funny to see people have issues with it. And usually the people that have issues with, I have to go play a game. It's like, well, yeah, like we're a gaming network. Like it's kind of what we do. And usually those are the people who are trying to get some free tokens. But yeah, we spend a lot of time in developing things. We put the work in on the front end, and hopefully we'll see some return on that work that's been put in. But we've got some really cool stuff coming out here pretty soon. So I really appreciate this. I always love being able to talk about PLYR in a format like this, and excited to see what comes of it.
Man, me too. I'm looking forward to having you back on the channel as some future things come up, as some new, things get, come all the way to fruition where you can talk about them. And so, yeah, definitely, you are definitely a friend of the channel, and we will look forward to having you back. So with that, everybody, thank you all for your time. God bless. Have a fantastic day, and we will see you very soon again here in the next video. Take care.
Yeah, thank you. Have a good one.